Hi everyone and welcome back to the Better Left Unsaid podcast with me, Jessiara Marriott. I have a very special guest today. A guest who has not made an appearance on my channel, let alone on my podcast, in a very long time.
It's been a while.
This is Corey. He is my boyfriend, my partner of 5 years. In this second episode of the podcast, I really wanted to get Corey on to have a honest, candid, authentic, raw, unfiltered, every single word in the dictionary conversation where we can just have just real talk. Honestly, just real talk. We're sat here, the kids are in bed, like we've got our coffees. I wanted to bring you guys along the journey of our relationship because I posted something to Instagram the other day and it got me thinking about how people perceive not just our relationship, but relationships in general. Specifically like interracial relationships where, you know, we're unmarried, we've got 2 kids, we've done everything backwards. So I thought it would be a really interesting conversation to bring Corey along, talk about our relationship, talk about our ups and downs, everything in between, and get to know him a little bit because if you follow me, you've seen him before. He's been on the channel before. However, we've not made a video together in a long time for lots and lots of reasons. So, how do you feel about being on the podcast?
I love it.
You're my first guest.
No, I'm not.
You are.
That's a lie.
You are my first guest.
Oh, I am your first guest.
Yes, because I've pre-recorded a lot. So you're like, yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. I've pre-recorded everything.
Why
but you are my first
guest.
guest.
No.
Yeah.
But someone else first.
Why? No, I thought having this conversation early on in the podcast and the season. Just to build up in terms of like what we're talking about because obviously the second episode is about relationships, it's about family, parenthood. Yeah. And then as the season goes on, we're going to be talking about parenting, motherhood, Black identity, disability. We're going to be getting a bit more serious. So I think this will be a nice...
Oh, it's just lighthearted. It's just...
No, it's not really lighthearted, actually. It's not. But I think it will be nice for people to get to know you, for people to get to know us, our dynamic, because I'd like to think we do it differently. Like, we do relationships very differently. We all know that some things are better left unsaid. We're not here. So let's talk about it. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
That made me feel so uncomfortable.
That's how I feel.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yes, I've definitely been thinking about it. And whilst I do think some things are better left unsaid, I'm just not about that. Like, not at all. So, Corey, let's take it back. Let's take it back.
You are Oprah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to be Oprah. Love Oprah. Let's take it back 5 years ago. So, I moved to Manchester in September 2019, and if you've watched the first episode, my summer was treacherous. My summer was a lot. The year prior, I was in the car accident, and that summer I lost my best friend. My best friend passed away. So yeah, I was really going through it, and I was really happy to have gotten into Manchester because I needed a new start. I needed a new start. I was in London. I've lived in London my whole life. Other than my childhood, I went across all different parts of England, but still, London is all I've ever known. I've never really expanded out of, my boundaries. So when I found out that I got into Manchester, I was really happy. Even my aunt was happy. Like, she was like, yeah, go live your life, do your thing. So I moved to my accommodation 2 weeks earlier because I wanted to explore the city. I wanted to, meet my roommates, meet the people in my course, that type of thing, and just have fun because I turned 18. I was like fresh 18-year-old. Like, my birthday was in August and then I moved in September. Yeah. So I was fresh 18-year-old, wanted to go clubbing, drinking the lot. And I was on a bit of a bender.
A bit. Yeah, we can
It's a little bit of a bender where I went out every single day
for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks straight. And then I think it was literally the weekend, I'm pretty sure, before my class started. And I remember this night we were going out and I was like, I had a pretty shitty experience with men up until this point. Like I told you, I was like the what do you call it? The black sheep out of the friendship
Oh,
group.
stop it.
I was.
Oh.
I was. Like, I would go out with my girlfriends and I would be the only girl left over who wouldn't get, like, picked up by a guy or, like, had someone buy me a drink or, like, dance with me. Like, no one would talk to me. Well, people would talk to me, but it's like, no, it was pointless conversation. They gave me the ick. I didn't like it. I was like, ugh, like, no. So this particular night, I remember going out and I was telling my friends that I was with, like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, if anyone comes up to me, I said to my friend Mohammed, he's a 7 foot. I'm pretty sure he honestly is 7 foot. Big guy. Big guy. He was like, just don't worry. Like, if anyone comes up to you to talk to you, I will
Shoo him away.
Shoo him away. And we were dancing, and like my back was to Corey, and my friend could see Corey and Corey's friend group. And then I'm like dancing, I'm enjoying myself so much. I remember I was having so much fun. And then she was just like, Jess, there's a guy, like, as she's dancing, like, Jess, there's this guy, he's looking at you. And I was like, is he cute? She was like, yeah, he's cute. And we danced our way into each other. It was a meet cute. But from you,
I remember it.
I think I'm trying to make it sound nicer than it actually was.
Yeah.
How was it from your perspective?
Did one of your friends come up to me? Now that I'm thinking back, I feel like they did.
It was her friend. She was kind of my friend, but it was her friend that came up to you. I'm pretty sure. I remember that, but I thought I was making it up.
No, I thought.
When I was thinking back,
I haven't really thought about it like that. I feel like I just got a flashback of it.
How did you see me? Was I like?
I saw you dancing, and you just looked like you were having the time of your life. You were enjoying yourself, and that's all you cared about at that moment. And I admired that.
Oh, that's cute. I was gonna say something very inappropriate.
You look really cute. I remember. Yeah. What dress were you wearing?
I was wearing my.
What
I
colour?
feel like I still have it. It was my black satin, cowl neck midi dress. Oh, yeah. She was cute, and I was tiny then, so like my waist was cinched, and oh, if I tried to fit into that dress now, nothing would fit. But yeah, what happened after we just danced?
Yeah, I mean, I've got like a very bad recollection of events, but I remember being outside with you and having a little chat as well. You know, at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember you. All I remember is you basically like thinking I was Italian.
I thought he was Italian. I thought he was Italian.
I do not. Don't be
sorry. No. I thought he was Italian. I really did. I thought you were of that region. Yeah, I thought he was of that region. He's not. He's just an English boy. But I was very infatuated by him. His character, his energy was just so. It was refreshing. He was just really lovely. He was a really, really nice guy compared to the other men that I encountered in my first 2 weeks in Manchester.
Yeah, I just remember not being intimidated, but like I felt like you were doing a lot for your age. You were very mature, and just seeing like you had a clear set of goals listed out for yourself, and you were achieved by this date and doing this by this date, and I you were very interesting.
Oh, how times have changed.
Yeah.
I get that a lot though. A lot of people, when they first meet me, they describe me as intimidating, but they never expand as to why. I've always gotten like, you're intimidating because it's like my face. I just look mean.
I think it was more so because like I was like kind of laid back in what I was doing. I was just going along with emotions, and then you came along and you were like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I want to get this done. And that's a lot of it is just your ADHD on overdrive. But there's a lot of careers and aspirations that you just put out there for yourself and for everyone. I admire that.
Thank you. We were together all of 6 or 7 months before our lives completely transformed and changed for the better. Honestly, for the better. So it was March 2020. And the world was upside down. Lockdown happened, COVID happened, and I was getting like messages from like family asking me or like telling me to come back to London because London's going on lockdown and you're not allowed to come back into London from a certain day, which I don't even think was going to happen. I think you were still allowed to go in whenever. But
Yeah.
it was very scary. It felt very apocalyptic at the time because my aunt was telling me like you need to book your ticket for this day because they're going to shut the train stations and you're not going to be able to get into London. And I was like, oh my God.
You were there panicking. I just stayed.
Yeah, because
I paid in my accommodation. I didn't.
I was going to be stranded.
Yeah, but all my mates went back home and I just stayed there. So lockdown happened. You can't leave your house, and I'm here like
yeah, like
so I'm in a four month.
I really thought it was like going to be bad, but
I mean, it was
bad. It was, but from that point, yeah, I packed up. My friend took all of my stuff to hers in Liverpool, and then I went all the way back to London. And I didn't go back to London alone. So, yeah, came home to London, back with my aunt, back with my sisters, and I started doing like TikTok and stuff, like just for fun, like the dances and all that. And then I was feeling a bit weird. I thought I was sick. I thought I came down with something. I thought I had COVID. I thought I had a stomach ache. I was getting bloated. I was working out. I was like, why is my abs not coming? Why am I bloated instead of having a six-pack? 12 weeks had passed and I had a friend. She was pregnant, Fran. And I was like just talking to her about how I've been feeling and like everything like that. And she was like, you haven't thought about pregnancy? And I was like, no, I had. It definitely passed my mind. I missed my period, but at that time, my periods were late anyway. Stop it. No, I had irregular periods though. My periods were really irregular at that time, and I wasn't on the pill or anything like that. But then it got to like the evening time, I remember, Saturday night, evening time, I came out the shower, and I just remember looking at myself in the mirror and seeing that dark line that you get on your stomach when you're pregnant and thinking, I am with child. Like that was the defining moment for me where I was like, I'm pregnant. Took a picture, sent it to my very pregnant friend. She was like, yes, you're pregnant. You need to take a test. So the next morning I get up really early. All the pharmacies near me were closed, so I went all the way to Stratford. My aunt was in the kitchen like dancing to like Jamaican music, and it made me really happy, but it also made me really nervous and upset because she was happy and I'm about to tell her I'm pregnant. Didn't want to ruin the mood. Yeah. So I walked all the way to Stratford from Leytonstone, got the pregnancy test, came home, sat in my bathroom, took the test. Of course it was positive. And it's like, as soon as I saw the positive test,
it made it all real, didn't it?
It really, it's like, I was like, well, duh, you're pregnant. Obviously you're pregnant. Like, I knew I was, but I think I was just letting the weeks pass. Just letting the weeks go on.
You didn't want that confirmation.
I didn't want that confirmation at all. But when it came, it was like, the first thought I had was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a mum. And it wasn't fear, it was excitement. And I think for me, that was my defining moment of like, I do want to do this. Like, I've got obviously I had doubts. Like, I can't say I had no doubts. I had no fears. I did have fears. But in that moment, I was like, I'm going to be a mum and I want to do it. Then reality sat and I had to tell you, I had to tell my aunt, and I didn't want to do it. So how did you feel getting the phone call? What was your reaction? What were your thoughts? How did you feel about the whole thing?
I mean, I was terrified. I just remember hearing your voice tremble on the phone. I was like, oh God, what's happened? Like, if you got into an accident or something. But yeah, so you called me, you laid it out to me after about 10 minutes of
beating around the bush.
Yeah. I don't know if it was shock or, I don't know. I just remember just being like lost for words. And
I mean, I would be too.
Well, yeah.
And I
kind of felt like it was coming from what
we spoke that much either. I'm trying to remember
in lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember my phone's always.
Yeah. 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 I don't think we spoke that much, to be honest.
There's like messages here and there.
Yeah. Was a part of you like, I really don't want her to do this because like you were not just thinking about yourself, but like thinking about me, because I told you all of my dreams and aspirations and everything that I wanted to do during uni, after uni. and like plans that we had as well. Like we were gonna go on holiday before lockdown happened.
Oh yeah.
But like, was there a part of you that was like, I really don't want you to do this because you have all of these things you want to do, and
I think I was just more so scared of the fact that, like, yeah, we're young, we've got no careers, we've got no money to our name. How are we gonna, raise this child when we're just about getting through it ourselves? And it was just trying to, weigh out the pros and cons of that, and there's no easy decision when it comes to having a child. But I mean, I got down to it, and you said I want this baby, and I was just like, I don't think I'm ready.
Yeah, I think the way that I presented it to you was like, I'm doing this. It's gonna happen. You can be here if you want to, or
I remember that actually. You were like, don't worry, you can go.
I was like, you can go.
Like you said straight away. Like one of the first things you said was I don't expect.
Because I didn't expect you to be like, yeah. I didn't expect you to be like, woo, baby, yeah. But I also didn't expect you to be like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with you. Like I'm here. I really did not think that. Because, 19 years old, you're in university, the life has barely started. We just started our relationship. There's so much we wanted to do together and individually. Did not expect it at all. I was preparing myself to be a single mum at that point.
I mean, if someone's having my baby, I'm going to be there.
But then guys, Corey, I'll say this now because otherwise I'm gonna ramble on about it later on. But Corey is such a gentleman. He is such a kind soul. I've said this to you from the day that I met you, literally. He is the kindest soul that I know. He will put everyone else, everything else, even strangers you don't even know. There's been circumstances before you. You will put everyone before you. And in a way it's good. Obviously, it's a really good trait to have. But then, in circumstances like that, it's not that I wish you said sayonara, bye, see you later. But I think even going forward after that point, it's that was the day that you committed yourself to being there for me and then being there for our daughter. From that day, literally until now, you're still like that. So it was that was the day you were like, yep, cool, everything I do from this day forward is for my family.
Yeah, that's it. There's no going back from a baby. Once they're in this world, that's it. They're going to grow up with or without a dad. Or without or with, a parental figure that is there for them in every aspect. And, knowing that I've got a daughter out there and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not there for her, she doesn't know me. That would just break me. So at the end of the day, regardless, I had to be there for her. Even if it wasn't for you, it'd be for her. Mm-hmm. But we're happily together, I think.
We're happily together, yeah. I think so. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. We will get into parenting. How did you navigate becoming a dad? Because actually, I'll say this first. Our relationship, we literally were talking about this before, is so crazy that we were together as individuals, like a couple, two of us in a relationship, literally for 6 months. That was it.
Yeah.
All we've ever known, essentially, is being parents and motherhood, fatherhood, kids. That bubble. We haven't had that time to be individuals and be a couple, be a young couple. We've not had holiday together. There's
a lot of things we've not done together.
There's a lot of things that we haven't done together that a lot of
even new relationships have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That a lot of young couples our age do. Which, I mean, for me, I know how you feel, we can talk about that in a bit, but for me, at first, because things happened so fast, it was met you, lockdown,
baby,
parenthood, moving, second baby, health. Like, it was like all very, in the span of 4 years that's happened. And to me, that's so crazy. But like, it's literally until like, yeah, it's literally until like the beginning of 2024 that I was like, oh, I wish we slow down a little bit. I wish things, not wish, but I it would be nice to have seen how things played out if we
went a different route.
Like, would we even still be together? Would we be in a completely different situation? I don't know. But obviously I wouldn't have it any other way. How do you feel about like not...
No, I feel like having Amara forced us to suck it up for each other. Like, I say this all the time, when we had our, like first couple months together with Amara, we didn't fight at all. Now you expect a new couple living together to fight, never mind a new couple with baby.
Yeah. We didn't.
But I think that was kind of, we kept, not to us, most, I think we kept it to ourselves.
And you bit my tongue.
Yeah.
A lot.
So you were reserved with it, and I didn't want to instigate something that could have been solved a different way. So we never even raised the voice to each other.
Yeah, I remember when we first got into like our first argument. Like, it was
like more of a dispute.
Nothing. It was nothing, but like I felt physically uncomfortable because I was like, oh, I don't like this. We're different people. Yeah. Like, no, I was really uncomfortable, and it was about something so minute as well. But like, up until that point, even like, I can't say today we don't fight. Like, we have our disagreements, but it's nothing
of substance.
Yeah, it's like
if we're having an argument, it's obviously something close to us, but it's like, obviously if it's something that we don't care about, it's nothing, we brush it off. But
it's not that, it's never that deep.
It's still, even now, to do with parenting, we've had these discussions before, so it's not like it's new things being brought up. I don't know if that's where do
you think that like stemmed from though? Because like we went from obviously literally knowing each other for like 6-7 months to being parents. We're now living together. We're like living with family and everything like that, in the same room every single day, breathing the same air, looking after our baby. We don't really know each other like that. To now, like, I don't know, how did that jump happen? Like, I'm trying to think, how did we survive it? Because I get that question. No, honestly, I get that question so much. Like, you guys are so strong. How do you make it work? And it's like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, looking back, we went through so much. Things happened so fast. Like, we were forced to grow up. And I mean, like, me, with how I grew up and my childhood and everything, like, if you watched the first episode, you would know, I think that the way that I am naturally, I'm very much like, I don't sit in my emotions. I don't like to feel things. I will feel my feelings. If I'm sad, I'll feel sad. If I'm angry, I'll feel angry, but I move on. But like, when it came to like the difficult times, like, we'll speak about it briefly, when I think I was like second trimester, 30-ish weeks pregnant, maybe. Around 20 to 30.
You were massive.
I was huge, yeah. When I was pregnant with our first, and my aunt was, she wasn't as, how would you say, not accommodating, but like, my aunt was very restricted when it came to our relationship. I think she loved me, and all she wanted was for me to be safe. Like I said, she prepared me to be a single mum. Like, literally, she's been preparing me to be a single mum from the day I started living with her. She's always, raised me and my sisters with the mindset of like, you need to make sure you're okay before you get in a relationship before you're married, before you have kids.
Yeah.
So if anything happens, you're fine. You know, you've got your money, you've got your career, your mental is okay. So I already had that. So like, if we were to break up, I would be not okay, but you know, I wouldn't be in.
You'd get through.
I'd get through to an extent, but it was around that time, where you wasn't allowed to live in the house because my aunt just didn't want that responsibility and that reflection. She didn't want it to look like it was normal, basically, for my siblings. Like, I had 2 young sisters at home. She didn't want you living with us with her pregnant 19-year-old daughter in the house to be normal, which I completely get. So unfortunately for you, that meant you had to go to hotels. So if you don't mind, how did that whole experience make you feel? What were your thoughts during that time?
I mean, I understood it because if it was the other way around and I had my daughter's boyfriend coming over, trying to stay over, and
he wouldn't even step foot in the house if that was honestly.
But like, even though you see the efforts there, it's not as, you know, cut and dry as being like, okay, yeah, come in and have a coffee, or like, there's obviously going to be resentment.
Yeah.
In any circumstance.
Did you understand that you had to earn it though? Because I always told you that's what she was like. I warned you.
Yeah, I mean, you warned about her being strict, and you know, obviously she had her morals, and the way she was brought up, she tried to pass it on to you. So I knew to some extent she wasn't going to be, you know, too open arms about me just up and leaving and coming to stay over or whatever. So it wasn't a huge surprise, but I think after a while...
Did you think it was going to ease? Did you think it was going to ease?
Even just like coming to meet her.
Yeah.
So even the first time I didn't even meet her, did I?
No.
So it's frustrating because I remember one time you're like, oh, can you come back? And she was like, no.
Yeah. I think you like dropped me back from when I saw you at the hotel. And
watch you back.
I think I expected you to like just come on in the house, but you couldn't. A part of me was embarrassed. I remember I felt very like embarrassed. I was kind of like, when I closed the door and you had to go all the way back to the hotel, I was kind of like, why are we doing this? Like, I will just go and stay in the hotel with you. But then that's another expense and we'd have to stay there for longer. And we already just about had money as it is. But I think obviously you earned her trust. Because like I said, Corey's a gentleman. He's really lovely. And
yeah, there's no way I'd push on that. Like, it's her decision at the end of the day. Like, I wasn't angered by it. It was just frustrating to be in the position of having a child and then having this expenditure of a hotel, you know, not just like a day here or day there, but like weeks.
Did you ever think that was going to be like a thing though with her? Did you ever think you were like just never gonna win her over?
I mean, I think some part of me was like, what if she just doesn't like me?
She did test you though. It was obvious for me because she's done it before. She was testing you, like,
oh gosh,
when you were in the house and she'd come home with shopping. Corey, come help me with the shopping. Corey, come lift up this bag. Corey, come get the bucket of water in the back of the car.
I said backache, of course I'm gonna help.
Yeah.
Was that backache fake?
No, but she really was like little things, even with food. If you didn't eat that food on the plate, I don't know if we'd be here today. Honestly, Corey, we wouldn't be here today. He really earned her respect by finishing food and then coming back for more and then coming back for more. Like, oh, she loved you after that. And then you'd help like you'd help wash up and you'd eat the food that she cooked and you'd go back for seconds and thirds and fourths. You were just a kind young man. That's what I remember her saying. Corey's such a kind young man. Like she said you were raised right, and she was proud of you being like present, because she didn't think you were going to say, none of us thought you were going to say.
I heard that before.
None of us thought you were going to say, like, even like my siblings, everyone's like, oh, he's still here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm shocked too. Like, he's still here. But yeah, once we passed that hurdle, Obviously we had Amara, and we were thrown into the world of parenting. Can you?
So not even just by ourselves, though. It was like in the premise of your aunt's house with your sisters as
Yeah,
well as
yeah,
like.
yeah. We were in a Caribbean household with my two young sisters. My Caribbean aunt, like I have to keep repeating Caribbean because if you know, you really know. And Corey hasn't experienced, well, as far as I knew, that type of culture before. Was it a culture shock to you? Were you kind of like, this is different?
I don't think it surprised me. I think it was nice.
Waking up to Bob Marley in the morning, smelling saltfish and dumplings on Sundays. Me too, man. Me too. I miss it. But
One
like,
of us needs to step up for that, yeah.
how did you, like, was it a nice change? Were you kind of like, do I fit in this? Like, how can I fit myself into this family? Or were you just like, let me just keep on doing what I'm doing?
I think it was, I didn't want to intrude, but at the same time I was there, so I wanted to like, just help out here, like wherever I could. I think the biggest shock for me was like food, rather than because like, oh my gosh, everything is like, because your aunt goes to no end to
Yeah.
make you a nice
She'll make sure you're fed.
Yeah.
She'll make sure you're fed. Full. Full.
So I went from like frozen dinners and like just mashed potatoes and like sausages and to goat water, oxtail.
You were spoiled, man.
Everything. I was just like,
You were spoiled. Shouldn't do that now.
That's because you were pregnant. That's you were.
That's true. No, that's true. My aunt, she made sure I was fed. She made sure that the baby I was growing in my belly was gonna be 10 pounds plus. She wasn't. She was 6 pounds 6. But like I gained the weight. Like I took all the weight. After postpartum, or during postpartum, I was having such bad like flashbacks to my accident. And it was really random. Corey didn't know about this, by the way, you guys. Corey's literally just not just, but like
within the last few months.
Within the last couple of months, Corey's just found out about the accident. So has a lot of people in my life. Like this accident was, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything. So I was having like night terrors and like just even day to day when we play with her in the daytime, she'd have milk. I was just thinking about it constantly on top of like flashbacks to birth.
What was one of the main reasons you didn't tell me when that was going on?
Oh, what, during that time? Oh, because it was all still so fresh. And I felt like, it's so crazy. I was going to say, I felt like, not that I didn't know you enough, but I felt like it was really deep. Like, it is really deep. But at that point, we didn't really discuss sad things or serious things. I feel like even when it came to like even discussing how I felt, like briefly being upset, I was like, this makes me uncomfortable. I don't like this. So I felt like maybe if I told you that you would be like either, I think I thought you were going to be more like worried, scared that I was going to do something or act in a way that was gonna like worry you or scare you. But then I also thought you were gonna be like really overprotective suddenly and be like watching my every move, listening to what I'd say like really carefully.
Right.
I was
That would
really
make you feel more crazy.
I was really in my own. I already felt crazy, so I think if I did tell you that, it was like another factor of someone else knowing and someone else checking up on me every 2 seconds, and I didn't like that. Even till this day, I don't.
I was gonna say.
Even till this day, I don't really like.
Because I remember trying to comfort you during like one of these night terrors. Well, I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't know this was a bad dream because I knew you told me beforehand that you have like these really vivid dreams. So at that time I was just like, oh, she's just like a nightmare, and that she's just like half asleep or something. But like you're streaming, tears everywhere. Like, what? I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of just like brushed past it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else. If I don't show that I want any help, I don't expect you to be like, you know.
But I remember trying to comfort you, and you were. I didn't know if you were half asleep, but you were like don't. Like you kind of pushed me away from that, and I was not shocked by it, but it made me feel a bit more distant from you because you weren't letting me in to
Yeah.
whatever was going on.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of like I just put it to like, oh, it's just a nightmare, just nothing.
I was gonna say, I feel like there was a period after after we had Amara that I felt like we were just like roommates. We were just people that was living together. I still loved you. I still had so much love for you. You were still my partner. We were still parents, mum and dad. But like, I think because of everything I was experiencing, and then you doing uni at the same time, and you were doing your not your own thing, but you had your life outside of me and Amara. It kind of just felt like I was on like this repetitive cycle of just like waking up, feeding the baby. I was working on a business at the time. I forgot working on my business, watching Friends, same episode over and over again. Like it was a continuous cycle until we moved into our own flat. Life got much better then.
Yeah, you definitely.
Things got so much better. I think me moving out,
different scenario, different
environment. Yeah, the area we lived in was really lovely in Walthamstow. It was really, really nice. So like being in that environment with like not like-minded people, but the people in our area were really nice, quite posh, quite rich. Like it was nice. It was really nice. Around this time though, you graduated or you were graduating.
Yeah.
And then
I came. And
you came to live with us. Were you expecting, like, to have your dream job straight out of uni, and like like you've graduated, you've gone through 4 years of university. Now it's time to get my career bag, and that didn't happen.
I think from the get-go, I was like, I'm kind of done with doing this. Like it was exhausting, just trying to. I think it was mainly the dissertation, just trying to cram it all in and get it all sorted for this deadline when I just wanted to be with you guys. Because I think, for the 2 years leading up to that, the 2 years, yeah, yeah. So for the 2 years leading up to that, I was there like every weekend.
Yeah,
it's spending £60-70 every single week.
Yeah,
that was just on like train alone. So I was like, this is exhausting. Like I just want to be there. So I think when I finished, I was like, that's it. I'm going to be there, and then I'll think about it. You
figure out, yeah.
So I was an Ocado delivery driver in London, but I think I just took to it because I enjoyed just, getting around London and seeing.
Yeah, you don't really explore London like that. So
seeing the people, seeing the scenery, seeing the houses, and that didn't last that long, did it?
No, unfortunately, it didn't.
So that was what, 3 months late? No, yeah. So 3 months in from working.
Yeah.
We kind of had a routine, but
we kind of just like going with it, going as the day. Like I was self-employed at this point. Like I was doing content creation. I was getting work, but like barely. And then my health just suddenly decided to decline. It was August 2022, and if you don't know the story, I woke up from a nap having a seizure and was admitted to hospital for 5 or 6 days. And that experience, I've got a couple of videos, I'll link down below if you're watching on YouTube. That experience was truly transformational in terms of it's changed the way that I think about my life. It's changed the way that I think about our relationship. It's changed the way I think about just everything. How did you navigate all of that? Because it's easy for me to be like, I felt like this and the workers were treating me horrible and I was in pain and I had seizures all the time. But like, you as the person who was witnessing all of it, you were like running around like a headless chicken, going to everyone, trying to keep all of our boxes intact.
Groups.
How did that affect you mentally? Because you do a great job at hiding how you feel. When you're like raging inside, you look calm and cool and collected. How did you actually feel during that time?
So I remember at one point, one of the doctors said to me like, oh, what's that? Basically, it's not looking good or something like that. And that just broke me. And then having to juggle that, seeing the person you love in hospital, fighting for a life, and having to put on this happy face to your daughter.
Oh, yes. Stop it. Oh, Corey. I truly, truly did not believe I was going to make it out of that hospital alive. I was the one that was earning money. I was the one that was paying the bills and doing the things that stereotypically a man should do. I was like contemplating, oh dear, I was contemplating leaving every ounce of myself, every ounce of Jessiara, that everything that made me, I didn't feel anymore. And the second I like decided that I wasn't gonna do things anymore, the second I decided I wasn't gonna like proceed, was I was terrified of how okay I felt with it. Like I really had to learn that it's okay to not be 100% all the time.